A quarterback has been called up off the couch. Devontae Foreman earns a $41 million contract. And what will rallying at the NFL headquarters accomplish? My name is Kay, and I am joined by my uneven tan co host Jamal.
Ouch.
This is the I Talk Back Sports Show, and thank you so much for joining. So, Jamal, do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Sure, Kay. I'd love to give a shout out to the NFL Hall of Fame for putting on another great game and for another great set of speeches that were given by the Hall of Famers. That they continually do this during the middle of the summer and still grab attention from everyone. So to them, I give a shout out and look forward to seeing who you come up with for next year. Kay, what about you? Who would you like to give a shout out
So,
to?
so I want to give a shout out to Michael Vick's wife. I can't really pronounce her name, but allegedly on the episode of one of these reality shows, she said that she was going to withhold sex from Mike Vick because of the comments that he made about Colin Kaepernick needing to change his appearance. So I want to give a shout out to her because she don't need the extra scrutiny from the world because of some stuff her husband did. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to her. She deserves it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
she don't need that in
No.
public. Some people no. All right, so Usain Bolt finishes third in a competitive race. The only race that he ran, the 100, he was beat by an American, Justin Gatlin. So, what do you think about that? His redemption. What do you think? Too little, too late?
Too little, too late.
Well,
I laughed at it. I didn't think that really there was much to it. It's the man's last race, and he's the one who walks away with all the gold medals. And that Justin Gatlin, I'm still kind of looking at him side-eyed and saying, hey, you know, you got caught with whatever it was, and so maybe now you might be able to, win some races. But I mean, shoot, your best years may be behind you, taken by Usain Bolt. But Bolt was a great champion. I love to hate him, hated that I loved him, and I wish him the best in retirement. What about you, Kay?
well, Justin Gatlin's little problem was back in 2001. It was a while back, Jamal. So I think he's kind of regained his image a little bit, and he won a little bit. So it is too little, too late. I feel. I mean, it's not the Olympics, but maybe it's a moral victory for him. So some people just take it any way they get it. Don't be so hard on them.
I can assure you I'm not going to be hard on him, but it's that he was facing a great champion, someone who's represented track and field in the country of Jamaica extremely well, without too much in terms of turmoil and so forth. And dang it, he was entertaining. Come on now. So, but I'm not going to be harsh on Justin Gatling. I'm just going to say that too little, too late. Sorry, you missed out on beating the man when he was at his prime and winning gold.
So did you catch any of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony? Well, that makes two of us. Neither have I went back and listened to any of the speeches. I think that's the what I really enjoy about the whole weekend. It's definitely not the preseason game. Um, saying. So Jamal, do you think that the speeches should be limited with the time?
No, no, I'm making every intention of going back and watching the speeches over this coming weekend. But I saw something that just kind of came up after all was said and done. There was a complaint about the length of the time that the ceremony started at 7, and they were talking about, I believe it was Kurt Warner was the final one to go on, and his speech didn't start until I think it was like 11:15 or something like that in the evening. I'm sorry. These people have put what they've put into this sport. they deserve to speak as long as they feel the need to. Most speeches aren't usually that long in the first place. You just happen to have a Hall of Fame in which there were a number of long speeches. No, you do not put a length limit on the speeches. You let it alone. And if you need to, if you're worried about it, start earlier. There's nothing wrong. It's being done on a Saturday night, right? So 5 o'clock. Don't start at 7, start at 5 if you're so worried about it. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I mean, as you say, everyone put their everything into whatever they're doing, so they definitely deserve to have people actually in the stands get up there to talk. So yeah, they're gonna have to have this a little bit earlier, or they're gonna have to split it up amongst days, whatever it is. Everyone needs to have the same attendance as everyone else who started at the beginning of the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, so. Mhm.
So, Kay, per the highlights, Jerry Jones did allude to the fact that Jimmy Johnson, who was on stage to present Jason Taylor, he acknowledged his presence and would seem to be actually somewhat cordial and said some nice things about Jimmy Johnson. So, Kay, when is Jimmy Johnson going to be in the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor? How much longer does one have to wait for this? Does he deserve to be in it?
He deserves it, and a lot of other players I feel deserve it as well, but they're not in the Ring of Honor. It seems to take a lot of people a long time to get there. So if I had to guess, I wouldn't say anytime soon.
Really?
Right.
But it's been a while.
It has. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It has been a while, but it does take people a long time to get there because it's what Jerry wants to do.
So I'm going to be contrary and say that I feel that in the next 2 years, Jimmy Johnson is going to be in the Ring of Honor because Jerry is going to rectify this wrong. He's over it. It's done. He got into the Hall of Fame. He's going to now bring in Jimmy, have a big ceremony for him because Jimmy deserves it. And it's petty to keep him out. He's not the petty type anymore. So, yeah, within the next 2 years, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, it took Drew Pearson to 2011 to get in there, so I don't know.
Fair.
We'll move on from that.
All right.
We definitely. All right, the undefeated has 50 greatest black athletes. Jamal, is golf a sport?
No. But
what is it, Jamal?
Golf is a game. Golf is an athletic activity, though. And within that, it is amazing that Tiger Woods was left off this list. I don't want to use the word flabbergasted, but I mean I don't have anything else that I can use as to how you leave Tiger Woods off the list. I don't understand it. But he's an amazing athlete, or I should say he was an amazing athlete when he was healthy. And, at the peak of his career, he was winning everything, and great influence caused a lot of black folks to go out and actually pick up golf clubs and, get out on the golf course. Tiger Woods, y'all. Tiger Woods, here I go. How's he not on there? So, what about you, Kay? What do you think?
I want to know what constitutes a sport and what makes it not a sport. You keep score, you're competitive, and you use your body. So what else is missing? What am I missing? Okay. No, we'll come back to that. Okay, so yeah, it's horrible that whoever came up with this list left Tiger Woods out.
Mm-hmm.
And even more, I think, alarming is the number one person on this list. Actually, let's just start at number 10 and go down. All right, number 10, Jerry Rice.
No.
Gabby Douglas.
I don't have a problem with that.
Simone Biles.
I think either Gabby or Simone, not both.
In the top 10 for me, neither. We're gonna go Hank Aaron.
Yes.
Serena Williams.
Yes.
Jesse Owens.
Without a question.
Willie Mays. Not at number 4. Let's just say that.
I thought Roberto Clemente should have been in Willie Mays' spot, but I'm not going to be mad that Willie Mays is represented. Does that make sense? Okay.
Number 3, Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Jackie Robinson.
I think Jackie Robinson is top 10, but in terms of greatest athletes, I wouldn't put him at that specific spot. But he's definitely top 10.
Okay, so, and then number 1 is Michael Jordan.
No,
okay?
no, and no.
So, that I definitely don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
The criteria, I'm guessing, is dominance, impact on society, and inspiration. To be number 1 and to only have one of the qualities, dominance, I don't get that. Okay,
he's got an impact on society. There are a number of people who are still walking around with his.
I don't think that's what they mean when they said impact on society. But
well, see, that's a good point. And that's a good question because we're talking about people walking around with the emblem of him on them, and Jordans are very important in Jordan apparel. But in terms of his the rest of the impact on society, then Jordan doesn't belong in the top 10. I'm going to agree with you on that. I mean, you need someone more like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or even, definitely, again, Roberto Clemente. But, I mean, there are several other people in terms of impact on society who belong in there. Arthur Ashe should have been in the top 10. And I'm still, that's beyond me. He was ranked down, what was it, like 30-something? It was a very, very surprisingly low number for somebody who has a tennis center named after him in New York. So, yeah, I was not impressed, to say the least.
Yeah, he was number 38, Jamal.
Yeah, that's amazing to me. That it really is. You know what? Go back and do some homework and learn your list. Understand the people that are involved, and put Tiger Woods on there. Put Tiger Woods on your list. I don't care that he didn't claim to be black. His daddy was black. He's black as far as the rest of us are concerned. When Tiger Woods gets pulled over by the police, he's black. Okay?
Amen. So
that's it. That's it. So I'm going to ask a really miscellaneous question. So Vince Young tried to revive his football career. The NFL wasn't knocking, so he went up north to, what happened to Vince Young this year? Bottom line, I heard he was playing football. That's what I heard.
I mean, you can't. No, I just don't know how you get cut from an arena team. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know, Jamal. I mean, Kurt Warner started like at arena ball and went to the NFL. But
right,
how you go
right,
from the NFL to arena ball and get cut? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
So maybe he was late for some meetings or something. Maybe it wasn't his talent.
I don't know, but so my understanding is he was cut from the Saskatchewan Roughriders back in June, and that I guess it's the end of professional football for one Mr. Young. But How many of those guys that played in that game are still actually playing football? You know, Reggie Bush is maybe still in the NFL, not sure.
Right.
Matt Leinart, eh.
And he's not even an analyst anymore, is he?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
But yeah, for such a great football game that was UT versus USC in the Rose Bowl, it's man, the fallout in terms of the people who have gone on to do anything is just kind of and yeah, I'm looking forward to the wonderful matchup or the rematch in September. So moving along, speaking of September, there's some teams that I'm sure would like to lead us to believe that there will be some life for them after September in the NFL. And what is that term? They use it actually more so in baseball, and it's hope springs eternal. So we're going to discuss today the AFC East and the NFC East. And we're going to start with a team. Yeah. So we're going to start with a team in which I am certain hope springs eternal for them, but I don't think they really have anything to be hopeful for, honestly, other than the fact that when they're finished playing their games, they can go hang out in New York City. That would be the New York Jets, the other tenants of the Meadowlands Stadium in New Jersey. So the Jets they finished fourth last year. They added Josh McCown and Dolores Morris Claiborne from the Cowboys at corner. And Jamal Adams they took as a pick for safety. They lost Rivas, Nick Marigold, Brandon Marshall to their crosstown rivals, and their wonderfully steady kicker, former Cowboy Nick Folk. What do you think about these Jets?
If they win 2 games,
wow,
I'll be surprised.
Wow.
Didn't they just lose their receiver the other day to injury?
Yeah, neck injury.
I mean,
He's out for
not
the
like
year.
he was going to get the ball anyway, probably, but just in case they were going to throw the ball to him, he would have been handy. I think they do have a good coach in Bowles. I think he's a good coach. It's just the personnel that I think that they're really having a problem with. I mean, but they were able to draft players like everyone else, and of course sign people in free agency. I'm not satisfied with their choices, so I don't see very much happening for them this year at all.
I'm going to agree with you. The AFC East has. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that it's extremely talented, but the Jets did nothing to help their cause. And so I honestly feel that this is just going to be a matter of playing for the worst record in the NFL this year. So it's not going to be pretty for Jets fans, in my opinion. This is really going to be an ugly season. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with them finishing fourth. And as much as I hate to agree with you, I think 2-14 isn't out of the question for this squad.
And so since we talk about the Jets, who are obviously in a disarray, so to me, in my opinion, are the Bills. They fired their general manager right after the draft. They tried to give away a very talented quarterback, but then decide to keep him. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do, but I really wish that they would get it together, okay? So, Jamal. Oh, and they got a new head coach.
New head coach.
So, yeah, new head coach. So, what do you think about these Bills?
I think the Bills, if they can stay healthy, will finish second in the division. I think that they will be ahead of Miami because they do have a solid quarterback. They have some better receivers this year, and they're going to have a little bit more solid of a running game going forward. That is going to help them to, I'm not going to say vault over, but definitely do better than the Dolphins. The solidification with Tyrod Taylor, which I don't understand why that was even a question in the first place. He is going to need his receivers to stay healthy, though, and that's That's the big thing. So as long as they stay healthy, he has targets. They're gonna put up some points. They're actually not a bad team. It's just maybe some bad play calling last year, but that defense is gonna have to shell up and stop some people. That was really the big thing that killed them last year. But I think they're going to do a better job of it this year. Like I said, second place. So, that being said, let's discuss the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, they did finish second last year, and they had some interesting losses. Mario Williams, Deion Jordan, and Brendan Albert. Most recently, however, they lost their starting quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, for the season, and their star wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, is in some possible hot water for some legal issues. Kay, this is an interesting team here. What's your take on them?
Well, they got the trash quarterback from Chicago. I don't necessarily know that he won't be the same. I don't know how he'll be with the Dolphins. Everyone wants to talk it up. You know, he's with his former coach, and when he was his coach, that was the best, season he had statistic-wise, all of that crap with Gase. But I don't know.
Mm.
They won't be last, and they will be first. They'll probably be third. I don't believe in their quarterback. And then they were already sketchy. For the last 2 or 3 years, it's like y'all have all of this talent, but you can't quite pull it together, or you'll make a quick start or a slow start, and then at the end you'll get it together. It's just too much inconsistency with their performance. That's why I just can't say. I don't know.
I echo everything that you said. This is another one of those mysterious teams that kind of reminds me of the Arizona Cardinals, and how it's just a matter of, although this is what I'll say, they don't have the talent that Arizona did, and they should have the talent to be better, but I'm going to, like I said, I have them at third, and it has a lot to do with the fact that they are a great mystery, and that they're resting their laurels on Cutler? Really? So, Dolphins fans, I am very sorry for you. So,
from all the Dolphins fans that I spoke with, strangely, they kind of like this pickup for whatever reason. But then again, maybe that's just the Dolphin thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, maybe they're delusional. That's what.
Is he an upgrade in terms of excitement from Ryan Tannehill? Sure. Absolutely. But I hope you're ready to live with those interceptions to go along with that so-called excitement. The one thing that Tannehill did is he was somewhat consistent. He was a steady quarterback. Cutler, it's going to be a roller coaster ride for you Dolphins fans. Good luck on this one.
Alrighty. So, lastly, we have the Patriots, the New England Patriots. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that they'll finish first.
Okay.
I'll just say that, Jamal. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but I feel that they will finish first in this division.
Oh,
something told me.
Please step away. Step on some toes. Go ahead.
Step on toes. All right. So they lost Logan Ryan, LeGarrette Blount, Martellus Bennett, and Chris Long. Okay. They added Brandon Cooks. Well, somebody gave them away.
Thank
gave
you.
Away.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm still upset.
A starting wide receiver.
And a pretty damn good one too. So I don't know who you have to be the Patriots, or who you got to deal with, but they got a gift in Brandon Cooks. Okay, so I'm gonna say that they're gonna win the division, and they'll probably go back to the Super Bowl. Jamal, what do you think about the Patriots?
I agree with everything you said about the Patriots. They're definitely going to win the division going away. I don't have them going to the Super Bowl, and we'll discuss this in a couple of weeks, I believe, when we do our prediction show. But, hmm, hmm, I have some thoughts on that. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the month. So let's.
So you have the Patriots.
I'm
You
sorry.
have the
Thank you.
Patriots,
Yes.
the Bills,
Mm-hmm.
the Dolphins,
Whoever they are, yes, the Dolphins
and
and the
then the
Jets.
Jets.
Yes,
Okay.
Benny and his Jets. Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about our favorite division in the NFL, the NFC
The,
East.
not our favorite, the best, Jamal.
All right, the best. Yes, the best. So we're going to start with the Eagles, and they finished fourth last year. They got off to a very promising start, and the wheels started to come off in terms of their quarterbacking and then later their defense. So they had departures, a couple of cornerbacks who left, and they added Alshon Jeffrey to give a bigger target. They also added Legarius Blunt, Torrey Smith, Chris Long. Looks like they just rated everyone who used to be a Patriot. And they also added a couple of cornerbacks through the draft. So we already brought up the comment by their coach about how talented this team is versus the Packers Super Bowl versus the Packers Super Bowl squad. Kay, would you like to give some further thoughts on what you think about this Eagle squad?
Well, I goes in on the Eagles. Okay, so yeah, they got talent every year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is nothing different than the past years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
talent, 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 always. Well, where does it get them? What makes this year any different than any other year,
I,
Jamal?
I assume the addition of a true target in Alshon Jeffrey and Legarius Blunt. Torrey Smith also, who has some very solid hands, some actual targets for, Wentz to throw the ball to and know that they'll actually catch. So, that? No? Okay. So, where do you see them finishing?
Third.
All right. Okay. I I'm gonna Drats. I'm gonna tend to agree with you on this one because I think I know what you're gonna say for last. Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you on that. So next up, that team in Washington plays in Maryland. They finished third in the NFC East last year. They got rid of their defensive coordinator, the GM, and the wonderful hands of Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon. They did go out and add a young Terrell Pryor, who is going to make things very interesting, linebacker Terrell McLean, and the running of, Samaj Perine. So, what do you have to say about these Redskins?
Well, I'm really excited to see what Perrine will do because he's a really good running back. Or at least he was in college. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad that they picked up. Well, I'm not glad. I can't say that. I wish that we could have picked up Terrell Pryor
Mm-hmm.
because they don't need him. But I think they're probably thinking towards their future because, of course, it's their quarterback's last year there. I don't know, Jamal. I just think that the Washington will do what they normally do, and they'll be last. They'll be last in the conference this year. They got some nice pieces.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do what they've been doing, and yeah, I don't give them any. Yeah, yeah. They don't got nothing for them. What you think?
So I'm going to flip the script here, and I'm going to say that I have the Eagles now finishing last, and I'm going to have the Giants finishing third. I think the Redskins are going to finish second in the division. I think that they have done some things to solidify that defense of theirs. They realized the importance of the running game, which kind of turned around their season late, and that with their Cousins being a steadying influence, I think these guys are going to be somewhat competitive and that they can actually make a decent run for second place. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Skins, second.
All right.
So, that being said,
what could I say behind that? I mean, I just disagree.
I understand. I have a feeling about it. So, let's go to the Giants. And yeah, 11-5 last year, second in the NFC East. They lost Victor Cruz and got rid of Robbie Gould finally. And they went out and added Brandon Marshall and a tight end in Evan Ingram, which will be a very interesting target for Eli Manning. So Eli has these targets now. And the Giants' defense, they added a piece or two here and there, but they're still the stout Giant defense. Okay, what do you think about the Blue Men?
Well, I think offensively it was really smart to add another weapon to go alongside Beckham. The only thing is you still have the same quarterback on. And as I say, he's always good for two, okay? Right? But seriously, it's good that they added another wide receiver. Their defense is getting better and better, like year by year by year. And the only thing that I can really give them credit for is that they really know how to play the shit out of us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they got our number. So, we're not going to give them two this year, so that's not going to happen. But I'll put them second in the division. I think that they'll have a very exciting year offensively, and I think they'll probably be interesting to watch. But that's all that I can give them.
Understood. I don't think that they did much to shore up their running game, so they're going to really look to be a very pass-heavy team, and that's really not a good thing. That this squad has always done well when they've been a run-heavy squad, and to go pass-heavy and not even to do it in a way that there's the threat of the run, it's not a good look. Now, are corners going to be busy in the NFL? Yes, they will, covering these receivers, but if all defensive linemen and linebackers have to do is pin their ears back and come blitzing every time, Eli doesn't like the blitz. Eli doesn't handle the blitz. So when you said good for two, this year he could actually possibly lead the NFL in interceptions if all goes according to plan. So third, I still see the number. I got them as third, and that's what I'm gonna roll with. That's what I'm gonna roll with. Okay.
I can't knock you for that.
Okay. You will anyway, but I mean, yeah.
Oh, definitely remember it. But hey.
Jamal, you said third. So, that being said, obviously the one team that's left in the division are the Dallas Cowboys, and we are both apparently picking them to be first. Kay, why don't you talk about your Cowboys?
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm not a Cowboy fan, because truly I am. Our defense is raggedy. It's raggedy. And it's not because of the people we left, because I think that anyone pretty much can come in and do what they did. I just think that the philosophy of our defense is being don't break, just do enough, and let the offense, take us where we need to go. But don't give up too many points, okay? So, speaking something positive, the offense is going to be awesome. Okay, we're just going to be great. Okay, it's just wonderful. Okay, Jamal, what do you think?
You know, when we do these things, I like to be the person who contradicts you from time to time, just to give a different point of view. And I can't. Everything you said is on point. I am afraid to death of our defense. I'm happy that we picked up a few cornerbacks, and I like the fact that we did go out and get a fairly decent defensive end. My boy's name is Taco. You know, Taco.
Really?
Yeah. But
and I think your defensive coordinator was a little rough on him the last game. Yeah.
Motivation. You know, just gotta get him ready. And we have a few defensive ends or a couple of defensive ends actually, who are on suspension the first at least 2 to 4 games of the season. So somewhere around game 5, I'm looking for our entire defense to finally be on the field at one time, and that I have a different view in terms of the people that we lost in the defensive backfield than you. I am very concerned about it, and I do question whether or not we will have enough coverage back there. But I think that what we're going to see is more pressure up front from this defensive line and these linebackers. And if we can get Jalen Smith in there, I think that'll make a big change in terms of how people play us, and that we'll win the division. That's what I'm going to roll with. So let's recap. We have Dallas number 1 and everybody else behind them.
Let them fight it out
amongst themselves. No, okay, seriously. I went with Dallas 1, Washington 2, the New York Giants 3rd, and the Philadelphia Eagles 4th. And Kay has Dallas 1st, the Giants 2nd, the Redskins 3rd, and the Eagles 4th. Is that right? Or I'm sorry.
Redskins
last. Okay. So the Eagles 3rd and the Redskins last.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so Jamal.
Yes.
So there was supposed to be a rally, right, at NFL headquarters by Spike Lee, right? So Spike Lee say, yeah, no, he's not going to have this rally, but there will be a rally, okay? Will you be at this rally?
Depends on what time it is, but I might cut out of work early to go to that to support Kaepernick. I think that's a worthwhile rally. I am going to say that the NFL, someone needs to step in, because this has gone on for too long. This is a situation, it's a black, excuse the expression, but it's a black eye right now in the NFL, and this story has dragged on way longer than it should have. If the man can play, bring him into camp, let him see what he can do, and if he can't make your team, great. If he does make your team, you already know that he's not going to say anything. He's already given his solemn word and promise, even though I don't understand what's wrong with somebody expressing themselves. I mean, other players can say stuff and, campaign for Republican presidents and so forth, or Republican president campaign. Okay, I'm sorry. So,
Right.
the idea behind the rally, I assume, is to get the NFL's attention that as a people, we're not a fan of this sort of treatment of someone who really and truly should be playing, and that it needs to be addressed. So, will anything come of it? I'm not sure, but at least voices will be heard. So, what do you think about the rally, Kay?
I think that rallying, protesting is very symbolic. Okay? All right? Besides tying up traffic and giving police officers overtime, I really don't see the value in it. What I see the value in is someone that's a football player, as I've said before, to sit there and say, hey, this is just not your fight. it's my fight as well. And I feel that there's strength in numbers. Colin Kaepernick can be cast away to football doom, without question.
Mm-hmm.
Once you don't give him a job and don't give him a job, then he's out of the way, and they feel that the problem is solved. But once you have multiple players on multiple teams standing behind someone for a cause that you believe in, then that's when there's going to be action. And also, as a consumer, I am not going to boycott the NFL. Okay, I'm not. And the reason why is because Colin Kaepernick was on a contract and he opted out of the contract. So the brother had a job. Okay. However, I do not agree with them signing players who have less talent than him, who are less accomplished than him, without even considering him. You can invite him. He doesn't have to be on the team. You can invite him to try out, can't you? Okay, so my solution is to not drink Anheuser-Busch beer, okay? I won't stay at a Marriott. I won't ship FedEx, and I won't eat Campbell soup. Okay, them the four things that I'm gonna work on this football season. How about that? Well, no, I don't drink. I don't drink.
I
I don't drink Budweiser. No.
don't.
Yeah.
You, you don't eat
If
Campbell
there's a
soup
free
either.
Budweiser, come by me.
You
I'm just
don't.
saying.
You don't eat Campbell soup either, for that matter.
Okay, so the point is, there's about 15 names on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't use the Visa credit card. Okay. And then and I won't buy a Hyundai. Okay. How about that? I'm really in danger of buying a Hyundai. I won't buy a Hyundai. Okay. But what I'm trying to say, Jamal, is there's other things that we can do to affect change. And the way that you get people's attention is hitting them in their pockets.
True.
Okay?
As well. Yes. Yes.
All right. So those are the things that I'm prepared to do, okay? Because I ain't boycotting the NFL. Because I got a job. I mean, I have to do this. And then what if my team might win a Super Bowl the year that I decide, and I need to have a Super Bowl victory in my adulthood. I need to properly celebrate for the Super Bowl, okay? So I can't do it not this year. We might go to the Super Bowl.
Let me offer you this, and then if something happens to Dak Prescott, you think we can still go to the Super Bowl with any of the backups that we have?
No, I'm on the boycott train at that time. And let me tell you what I plan. Hello, this the plan B. We gonna watch the replays and then do the show on the replays. And we'll just talk a lot of college. How about that?
Okay.
That's our plan. See, we're reasonable. We compromise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Kay, as we come to the final stretch, just in general, Kay, what's on your mind, sports-wise?
Sports-wise, I think what I just talked about is really on my mind. It bothers me that, of course, this man can just be cast aside and then the issue is gone because our attention span is so short. I just really wish that there were people that would sit beside him in a conference, news conference, and talk about what's important. I just wish that would be the case, and that's really what's on my mind. That's very heavy on my mind. That we can just be bought and sold.
Sounds like slavery.
And nobody ever worries about anything until it's their child, until it hits their front door. And I think that's what's really sad about people in general. like you should give a damn before it affects you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you should have that much compassion for other people going through a struggle, whether you're in it or not. What's on your mind, Jamal?
I woke up this morning to read a quote, and I thought that I was seeing things, and it was the quarterback for UCLA stating that football and education in college just actually don't mix. And I had to stop right there. I will go back and finish reading it, but my understanding in terms of the scheduling that is involved in playing football versus school, at least let me say that what I saw in high school made me say, yeah, okay, there's a point to what you're saying, and what do we need to do here? So is it that there needs to be less practice, which will drive coaches up the wall, and more time or more time allotted for studying, or is it what we need to just eliminate people getting degrees altogether and just say that you're going to go on scholarship strictly to play football, and then afterwards you can get your work towards your education if you're not drafted. I'm working on trying to understand. I understand that a number of people go to college specifically to put themselves in a position to go onward to the NFL, and it's not necessarily to get an education. But I'd like to think that colleges allow for the opportunity for these young people to get time, to get the resources, and to be able to better themselves from, a mental standpoint. So that kind of bothered me. That's what's kind of sat on my mind, and that we really need to work on hopefully getting to the point of it being back to being a true student athlete as opposed to just an athlete who attends a college. So
Yeah,
that
I mean, I was listening to I think Mike and Mike this morning, and they were talking about it. He's not the first person that had to do this, you know,
mm-hmm.
and everybody else has their complaint though, but everybody else seems to make it through fine. Maybe he's bringing our attention to something. Maybe he's looking for more suggestions of how it could be done better or easier. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and that's good. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that part is definitely good. But I don't really know what the answer is. You can't have less practice. They want more practice, but they're regulated to not have as much practice.
Right.
That's out. Um, they're not gonna. I mean, I don't think it's ethical to just say, "Hey, Joe, you play really good ball. You don't have to go to school at the university, but you can play ball at the university."
Yeah.
That ain't right.
No, it's not right. I agree. It's not right. So.
So, but it's good that he did, bring attention to him. Most people make fun of him. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? He has the right
Mm-hmm.
to speak about it because he is actually going through this process. So,
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with that.
Okay. So, one last thing, and it's been a minute since we've discussed this. Kay's workouts. So, how are your workouts coming along, Kay?
Well, I'm still not to that point where I'll be like, yay, working out. Yes. Can't wait to get in the gym. I'm not there, okay?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I normally go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I post me in the gym, it's a day that I did not want to go to the gym. That's when I post my picture, like, hey, yeah, I made it. I didn't want to come here, but I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it's not easy. It has not gotten easy. My trainer, he says he's in a good mood and he doesn't care how many times I roll my eyes at him. He's gotten that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that he has thick skin, because I do roll my eyes at him a lot. But I'm making good strides. and
Excellent.
I'm glad.
Excellent. Keep it up.
Thank you, Jamal.
Keep it up. All right. So, Kay, I think that about wraps it up for this week. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, thank you, Jamal, for always your participation in this wonderful show. And good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you again.